But it's very interesting in Russia right now with the victory frenzy. It hasn't yet reached its peak, but it has already completely stopped pretending. It has completely exposed itself, revealed itself, unmasked itself, and erased the boundary between the war of 80 years ago, which in general no longer particularly interests anyone, and today's occupation of Ukraine. And we see, and we hear, and we observe how concert kids from all over the country are singing, "Let them call me a quilted jacket and an occupier, a vile speculator on the glory of grandfathers." But still, it means I will be a killer of all peoples, and so on. And here it is clear that the people of Russia cling to this May 9th because they consider their participation in World War II as a mandate that gives the eternal right to carry out mass killings, bombings, looting, and genocide of neighbors. Judging by how this sacred date of the 9th is used, Russians are convinced that their kinship with the long dead soldiers of Stalin's army is some kind of license to occupy any country at their discretion, and a license for nuclear blackmail of Ukraine. In fact, this is not a very reasonable position because, firstly, the people here look like a sort of poodle that has come to a dog show and is shaking the old regalia of their medal-winning great-grandfathers. The great-great-grandchild is causing a scene and demanding, on the basis of these medals of honor and first places, something for themselves. But the current claimants has very little in common with those victors. Nowadays, in general, its rear is balding. Its legs are dysplastic, and to be frank, its ears are not as curly. Yes, absolutely, without a doubt. And also, don't forget that Russia is a ruthless and perpetually battered country. And since World War II, where it did manage to significantly aid the anti-Hitler coalition, Russia has already experienced defeat in the Afghan War and the Chechen War, and a massive defeat in the Cold War. But this eternal, also Cold War, consisted of several small, but let's say quite heated events. Well, this eternal speculation on the St. George ribbons, on the memory of the grandfathers, it means absolutely nothing. And all these whispers about the victorious people mean nothing. All of this, any lineage, any military lineage, absolutely does not promise Russia victory in that global nightmare, which, judging by everything, is brewing in Putin's sick mind, who is very much counting on the possibility of igniting a worldwide flame. In general, the victoriousness of any great-great-grandfathers means absolutely nothing. If we now take a look and search in world history for the most truly victorious country, then over the past millennia, well, since the 11th century, we will be forced, whether we like it or not, to place France in the first position. Because starting from the 11th century, France is the absolute leader in the number of wars and battles won. If anyone has some kind of winner's gene, then it's probably the French, which didn't stop them, as you remember, from losing the Franco-Prussian War, quickly surrendering to the Nazis, and so on, and so forth.